Welcome to the Bait and Banter Podcast, the ultimate show for everyday anglers and outdoor enthusiasts. Dive into a sea of stories, tips, and tricks as we explore the diverse fishing scenes of the Pacific Northwest. Join us and fellow anglers to share, learn, and laugh. The Bait and Banter Podcast is your hook into the world of fishing and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to another episode of the Bait and Banter Podcast. Today, we are in Richland, Oregon, getting ready to do the Crappie Shootout, which is a kayak event. And with me this evening, I have Brad Hull.
Hi, Jim.
And we have the guy that puts the event on, Jed Rivera.
Hi, Jim.
Is that all you guys got to say is hi, Jim?
Yes.
Brad has, in the past, he's won this event. And actually, Jed won the first one he put on.
Totally rigged.
Yeah, only 4 people.
Yeah. So, but Brad won it. Tell us about the day, if you remember much.
I don't really. I mean, I'm trying to remember how far back it was. I think it was three or 4 years ago, and I've come down. I think I didn't fish the first one because it was like 5 people, but I think I fished the second one on. Yeah, it's always been it's a fun tournament because it's a challenging event. It's 7 species to target, and the key is to try to catch all those 7 species, and then try to come back and upgrade your fish, trying to get a larger size. And we were kind of joking about it this evening amongst friends that the year I won it, there was a thunder and lightning storm out.
Storming bad.
And I got off the water. Yeah, I thought the tournament was going to be called, so I went back to the hotel room and I took a nap. Had coffee with Jed.
Or eating donuts and drinking coffee.
Yeah, and I said, well, it's over with, right? And he says, no, it's still on. I didn't cancel it. So I'm like, oh boy, I got 5 species. Oh wait, I only got 4. So I hightailed it back, got on the water, and caught a 5th species, and it was a small largemouth or something. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's kind of like winning that belt buckle is kind of like the WWF wrestling, getting that.
Yeah, out of all of the tournaments and different things that we fish, this particular one, the Crappie Shootout, that belt buckle is the one thing everybody wants to get their hands on. Like everybody, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot harder than it looks too. You're fishing for a bluegill, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, a trout, a catfish, a perch, and a, what, did I miss anything? Crappie, yeah, and a crappie.
The most important one.
Yeah, the most important one. Boy, you could have 6 other species, and if you don't have no crappie, somebody's going to beat you with 5.
Yeah.
Because that crappie's so important. It's a lot tougher than you would think to catch 7 just little fish, you know.
Well, it's fun how it's evolved too, because there are other species of fish in the Snake River system. One being a carp, and the other being a pike minnow. So Jed made the call a couple years ago that, hey, let's throw these in as bonus fish. If you catch either one of those, it's an additional 25 points.
Or find one dead floating on the surface of the water.
Right, or that. Yeah.
Whatever.
We don't do that. So that 25 points can make it or break it. A lot of these scores are close. So
I've tried ever since you started letting us do the carp thing. I have tried, and snagging carp is totally legal.
It's legal. Any
I can't
legal way.
ever get one. I have not caught one yet.
yeah.
I snagged one trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I can't get a carp caught. I couldn't catch everything else, but can't get a carp caught. And then, surprisingly, the two hardest species anymore seem to be the largemouth bass and the trout, where I remember a couple of years in a row, it was nobody could find bluegill or trout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kind of changes on the how the weather and the water is coming up, how quick it is. Like this year, it's been up for a while.
right,
It's kind of stabilized for a little bit. Usually,
yeah.
we'll get down here and it's coming up 2 or 3 feet a day.
right, and it moved up last night a bunch.
Yeah.
Probably 3 feet or so last night, because I didn't move the kayaks today, and I went down there this evening to go get I had my electric motor and stuff on. I went to take it off, and holy smokes, man, everything's up in the bushes, and I was like, oh gosh, we were way down there.
Yeah.
So it is still coming up. It didn't move hardly at all the first couple of days we were here.
Yeah.
So, but don't they have to have it all the way full pool?
Pretty near full for Memorial Day, the summer kickoff.
No, Jed, tell us, how did you start? How did you come up with this? And maybe a little bit on who benefits from this
All right. I live out in Eastern Oregon in Vail, and I would travel over to the west side to do tournaments all the time, ocean fishing and bass tournaments over there and stuff. And they had nothing going on out here. Boise's blowing up. There's a bunch of people moving in there. At the time, there wasn't really a bass kayak fishing tournament circuit going on.
Right.
Much or any kind of tournament really for kayakers.
Just for kayak angling in general.
Yeah. So thought it'd be fun to start some up here and get people coming over here. And I didn't really even think it was going to take off. I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's one of the largest events that we fish in, if not the largest.
Yeah,
I think it is the largest.
It's grown quite a bit. So, but I never even thought anybody would come out here. We just kind of threw it on as even the belt buckle was kind of a joke in the beginning because I was talking about it and they're like, it'd be like a WWF belt, just they have big belt buckles for rodeos and stuff out here, and we're like, it'd be funny, a crappie tournament, and you get a belt buckle.
Yeah, I think it was a great idea.
It's the most, like I said, it's the most sought after award that somebody wins.
It's a nice buckle.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, they're really nice buckles.
It's a custom one made from Montana Silversmiths, so I get it done every year through Montana Silversmiths, and I got my own logo on it. And
now you also include the ladies.
Yeah, ladies have a bracelet. If I get 4 or more ladies on the tournament, I offer a commemorative bracelet.
Right.
Montana Silversmiths bracelet with the logo on it.
Very nice. So if you've heard about the Crappie Shootout and you've been on the fence, it's a really, really fun deal for everybody. I mean, heck, if you're a lady, you could win the butt buckle and the bracelet, all of it.
Yeah.
So, and I know a lot of people that come here nowadays, and myself included, I'll show up usually 6 to 10 days prior to the event, and it's not so much to just come fish, it is just come here and hang out and relax.
Like today we took a whole group of guys to go morel hunting.
Right. Yeah, that'd be a blast. I got so drunk last night that I slept in until 11, so
nice.
Well, the wind was blowing 25 miles an hour today, so we really couldn't fish or didn't really want to fish in these conditions. So
yeah, and you said you got a whole gallon bag of them or whatever.
Yeah, I picked a gallon bag of morels. Never picked over here before.
The morels are fun to pick.
I found my very first one ever today.
Nice.
Oh really? You haven't picked
I never
them before?
even went morel hunting before.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now you know what to look for.
Have you had them before? Eaten them?
One time.
I mean, they're like eating steak.
Yeah.
You slice them up, clean them up, make sure they're not buggy, and put them with steak or something else.
Take the dirt out of them.
Yeah.
Makes the flavor taste better.
Nice.
I'm sure Mr. Chef over here, Brad Hull, could really make some good stuff.
Yeah, I wish we had time. We should have cooked them tonight. They're sitting in a grocery bag with crickets in them in the car.
Tell that story.
Oh my God. So Wayne's going to blame me for this, but our Australian friend from Seattle, Wayne always has a different tactic every year, and he throws a little Australian logic in this. And this year he told me, seeing he threw out his shoulder and can't really cast much, that he was going to primarily bait fish where he didn't have to cast a lot. So he decided to order 1,000 live crickets off the internet, which weren't arriving till the day he was leaving. So he waited around for FedEx or whoever was delivering it till noon. He had the car packed, waiting for the delivery. They arrive at noon, so he didn't even get a chance to fish on Thursday. So he shows up with all these crickets, and so he put most of them in his room in a box or something. He left, for whatever reason, like 250 in its own box in the car when we went mushroom picking. Well, I was trying to move stuff around in the car to make room for other people riding with us, and he says that I altered something in the back and I opened the cricket container. So we had crickets all over the car. He had them under his collar of his shirts. We had ordered a pizza on the way home. They were inside the pizza. I mean, it's funny. I mean, so it'll be kind of funny to see how he'll probably use one cricket tomorrow.
1,000 crickets for the Crappie Social bucket biologist right there. There's probably some weird strain from somewhere that's going to come here.
They're going to take over the Mormon cricket population.
They'll fight.
Yeah.
So when you guys are out fishing, is there like any kind of a sequence that goes through your mind as far as how you're going to do it for the day or what you're going to do? Or are you just out there like Jed dragging a Ned rig everywhere and trolling it and catching all the species.
I don't know. For me, I always think that I'm going to have some grand scheme plan. I mean, I can barely prep my stuff the night before. I'm like, I'll just tie it tomorrow or something.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
exactly.
a lazy in prep. Like, as you were preparing the pig and stuff tonight for tomorrow's barbecue, I'm going to risk it and just leave my rods in the car, because I know one of those treble hooks is going to get stuck in my car seat in the morning with a flashlight on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave them in the kayak and I'll call that one part of being prepared. But, for me, I don't know. I think in the past I've always fished, I've started fishing as soon as I hit the water, and I'll fish around the campground. And I think I'm just going to boat downstream a little further and just try something different this year. And
that's what I'm going to do. Change up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just go down
Yeah.
and try to fish. Wherever. It seems like every day the fishing here this year has been just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle of the day. I'm not positive on this, but I'm hell bent on the fact. I'm pretty sure I've been seeing huge schools of fish down at 50 foot.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure those are the crappie. I was out the other evening, and all those fish that were down deep, that wouldn't touch anything, right before dark, you could see them literally move into the shallows, and then they were crappie, and I was catching them.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm positive those were crappie, and there's just schools everywhere, but they're just super deep, and you drop stuff down into them thinking, it's got to be something, and you can't get a bite off of them.
Yeah.
But the second they start to suspend, then you could start catching fish.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my usual tactics tomorrow. But I brought my lead core line, which I love using. On a river, I haven't really used it much, but I can get down 30 feet where some of those fish are. So I think I might try that. And I also brought it for the rainbow trout, because I can control it far behind me.
Your kayak don't list when you got all that lead?
No, it's not that much.
I did that, and I can only pick the rod up. I hate that shit.
Oh, this is 18-pound lead core. It fits on a medium-sized spool. It's not like some of the guys that fish the Great Lakes. They use really thicker.
Yeah, the reel's 10 pounds
Yeah.
with that.
No, it's heavy and awkward to reel, but it's dialed in, and you are stealth-like using that stuff. I hate using droppers because I think that spooks the fish
Really?
a lot of times. So, but that's my
Good.
thought.
I know a lot of the guys that were like, they used to use the lead core for trolling for walleyes on
Yeah.
Columbia.
Oh, I
And
tried it. I couldn't do it.
The rod is so bent over from all that lead core to get down when a fish bites it, like it's a little wobble and it just drags.
Yeah.
And they couldn't tell.
Well,
that they were having fish
and
on.
the current too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's gonna pull, because you use a noodle ear type rod for that. But and I think too, I'm gonna try my forte. I love, at least for crappie fishing, targeting crappie over near Seattle in the wintertime, video game fishing. Find them on sonar.
Right. That's what I do.
So
that's my favorite.
I've found them that way here and pulled them up. So if I can find them on the graph and get a response out of them, I love that type of fishing. I can't bobber or float fish.
Right.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm more of a what do you call it? Just cast and retrieve type. Tight line, they call it. I think they
Right.
call it in crappie fishing, tight lining it.
I'm a little bit different.
Yeah. No. Jed has never used a fish finder.
Yeah, no. He just goes behind somebody else. Hey, how deep is it?
Yeah.
Tell us the water temperature.
Yeah.
So usually when I go out, I just try to drag a lure, like a Ned rig. That'll catch everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole game of this thing is catch as many species as you can. So I'm using the one lure that I know I can catch everything on. You either cast it or troll it.
And it does. It
catches everything, and it's just, I don't have to worry about those fish that are deep. All I need is one.
Right.
So I'm not chasing a big school of fish. I'm just going to pick up that one along the way.
So always
And
have two lines out.
Yeah. I mean, just two lines are just, you're going to pick one up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not focusing on a fish.
Yeah.
So you're going to either catch a bass or a perch or a crappie, just casting towards the shore and drifting around.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit, who benefits from the tournament here? What do the proceeds go to?
Well, the net proceeds go to CASA of Eastern Oregon. That is Court-Appointed Special Advocates of Eastern Oregon. They help kids entering into the foster care system, so in the courts.
Help somebody to fight for them because they've got nobody to
so
fight
it's
for.
their representation in the courts. So if they get removed from a house or something, they have these volunteers. This program will go and represent them in courts. So it kind of be their advocate.
And usually, what do you get them from this? We get to give them, what, a couple grand?
Yeah, usually a couple of thousand a year. It kind of averages out too.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. This is a pretty rural area, so I'm
Yeah.
sure that they are more than grateful for all
Yeah.
the proceeds they can get their hands on.
Yeah, they're pretty happy about it. When I first started doing it, I called up the lady that was running it. Her name was Betty. And I asked her, hey, I'm going to do a tournament. Do you want the proceeds from this thing? And she didn't even know what I was talking about. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm going to put on a tournament. It's going to be a charity tournament. I'm going to collect money. Do you want it? She's like, what are you talking? No one ever does that.
To give me
She's
money.
like, we're out there begging people for any kind of donation and money and stuff. Nobody ever just comes to us and, hey, we want to give you money. She's like, she didn't even know what to say. She's like,
that's great.
yeah. She's like, no one has ever done that before.
So I guess my question: how did you pick them? I mean, do you have a
guy I
connection, or-
fished with? I was talking to him one day, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to try this tournament. You know of any good charities that are worthy and stuff and do good work? And he had worked in the court system as like a social worker, and he goes, you know who does pretty good work and they always need help is this program called CASA of Eastern Oregon, or there's a CASA program pretty much everywhere.
Right.
So Eastern Oregon kind of covers all of the Baker County and Malheur County, out in the middle of nowhere.
That's good. That's it's good to see things like that go to those that need that kind of assistance, or just to help support those kind of people, because some of those kids do need the support.
Yeah.
So, and so many of them don't have either parents or family members that can advocate for them, and so they get somebody that does help fight for them to get
That's
them the
usually
things
like
that they
it's
need.
pretty traumatic time for the kids usually. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely can be.
They just are lost completely. So these volunteers go in and they do pretty good work.
We don't have like Evan. Evan's not going to be here. He won last year for a second time. We got Brad, Mark, who else? Mike Ragland, James Rear.
We got most of the guys.
Did I say Mark Berry?
Yeah.
What's his name from Casey?
Casey.
Oh,
He
he
hasn't
Boyles.
fished.
Yeah,
He
he's
canceled.
not here.
Yeah.
See if somebody else can get a double while the rest of us are trying to still get our
Or
first
like
time.
you said tonight, it'd be fun if a female angler won it, like Ashley, Evan's
Marks.
wife.
Yeah, that
You know.
year he won and she won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
don't know. I think she was like 7th. That girl from last year was 4th overall.
Wow.
Yeah.
that's
She was
cool.
pretty close.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So come to Richland. I think what I like about this tournament too is it's small town, and you really, I mean, I think the local town folk really appreciate
Yeah.
bringing the business here. I don't love to camp, so I stay at the Hitch and Post Motel in town, and it's got a great little convenience store that sells everything from tackle to fish to bait, and everything's right there. It's close to the launch, and it's kind of a special place. It's to come over here and stuff.
And there's locals from in town that come and fish it. I mean,
Yeah.
when Jed decides to move back home,
Sometime.
I know, but it's going to be hard. So, if this is like the one derby tournament.
It's like more of a get together.
It is.
There's
It's
new
more
people
of
this year. There's a bunch of new people that I've never met before that just
Right.
contacted me. Usually, it's been people that we've fished with or we know about or know somebody through. And this year, it's like people out of the blue are like,
right,
I heard
a lot
about
of different
this,
people.
and we want to fish it.
Yeah, and it's because it's fun. Everybody I tell about it, I just tell them it's really family orientated. I mean, it's kids.
Everybody gets
wives.
along. Everybody
Yeah.
helps. I mean, I try to
It's-
do stuff that like promotes people getting along. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a money tournament. There's no
No.
money involved, so
There's no cutthroat crap
Yeah.
here. None of that stuff.
people
It's-
don't get beady-eyed. It's just
Yeah, it's so much more relaxed.
donated gear. You know.
This is my favorite event of the entire season that we fish. I mean, I'm the tournament director for Washikike bass fishing, and that stuff doesn't even hold a feather to this. In fact, when we make our schedules for Idaho, Oregon, and Washington on the tournaments, we just tell everybody, told Marvin the first year, well, don't be making any on this weekend in May because we'll lose a gob of people, including myself, because there's no way I'm missing the Crappie Shootout. My wife loves it. Everybody loves to come here.
It's turned into like a family thing.
It is.
Like even the guys that have been coming for 3 or 4 years or more. You guys come.
I'm on my-
You know what to expect when you're
Yeah.
fishing. You already have your plan. You know it's going to change, or it's going to be like this. you guys come early and it's hanging out, like
just
morel
hang out.
hunting. I mean, hanging out with the guys, people you haven't seen since last year.
Right.
So it's kind of, there's people want to win it, but there's like less pressure than other tournaments.
Right. So I tell people this is kind of the brotherhood portion. I tell all the bass fishing guys that are snobby sometimes and get away from me and don't want to sit at this. There's two sides to the kayak fishing. It ain't just this bass fishing stuff. You get to experience what we call the brotherhood, and it's an amazing experience. Everybody is absolutely amazing. Like, I don't think I've ever really met anybody that I just didn't get along with and was a jerk. I just haven't seen anybody like that.
Like last year, there was a guy that had he made some tables with the emblem on it, the Brownlee Crappie Shootout emblem on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you can give them away and stuff?" I'm like, "Well, how about we give them away as a team event?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a good idea." He's like, "Oh yeah, we can have teams and people." I'm like, "No, we're not tell anybody who their partner is
Until the weigh-in.
Yeah, until after. So you don't know who your partner is. So I'm like, if you want to win this thing, you get these tables, the 2 tables, and some extra gear that donated gear. I'm like, somebody out there and they're having a problem catching fish, you might want to give them a tip or something, and it just
because it might be your partner.
That might be your partner.
Might be your partner.
You don't know who your partner is, so that's just another way we're like, let's have everybody kind of get along.
And that's awesome. That's an awesome thing to do. It is kind of. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Get out there, somebody gets a big argument.
Their teammates.
Yeah, their teammates. Yeah. So, well, tomorrow for me, I think I'm just gonna get up and head down river, and I'll probably poke around first for a largemouth, just simply because as the day goes on, they usually tuck back in. And I'm trying to catch one out front, but I've seen a couple, but they're not really interested too much. Otherwise, the bluegill and all that stuff, there've been plenty of them.
Oh yeah, like that one year you came back in that corner and jumped right in front of me and
in front of me.
I
just flipped out. I
courteously flipped in front of me and caught a bluegill.
Flip the bobber out there and catch a bluegill sea bread.
Yeah,
that's how you got to do it. If
Great.
you can get something, just get it and go. Hit something else.
And then there was the year I didn't read the rules, and I thought that sunfish and bluegill counted, and peamouth chub. I caught all these other species that I thought it was just you caught however many species you want, and they added up.
Making your own rules.
Yeah,
man.
God.
It's too bad nobody can find any of the those flatheads like you catch when you're fishing.
I got one year. I got a flathead.
Here?
Yeah.
When was this?
3 years ago.
How big was that one?
It was like 24.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
They come in here in the fall, October-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I catch them. I've got 30-pounders right at the Hewitt.
Wow.
Like right the first turns, and then the next day, Justin caught about a 30-pounder too. It was a different fish because we matched up the two pictures, and the adipose on one of them was mashed up.
And you're just catching those with like a foot of water or something. I think
right on the bank.
They'll shallow.
They'll follow the bait that comes up here in the fall. So the bass follow, and the crappie follow, and the big catfish are right below them.
Wow.
Yeah, and be right on shore. You'll just hang facing towards shore like that. They'll hit whatever.
Just ambush it.
Yeah. As soon as it hits the water, they'll hit it sometime.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big old 30-pound flathead catfish on 8-pound test line is probably pretty tough. 4?
That was 4 pounds. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That must have been a tussle.
Yeah, it was fun.
Bob Loomis, I called him the other day and was talking to him, and he was asking me about kokanee fishing or something, and I said, I had just ordered some stuff I wanted to take to the crappie shootout with me so I could fish for trout with it, and he goes, oh, tell Jared I said hi. And every time somebody says that, I gotta go, who the fuck is Jared? Oh, Jed.
I'm only Jared in my emails.
That's right.
But instead of money, because we don't win money at this event, we've got we win prizes.
Yeah.
So tell us, Jed, a little bit about maybe how many sponsors we have and some of the prizes are like and stuff.
In addition to the belt buckle, we have a whole list of different sponsored gear. So I usually hit up sponsors starting in like November and send out proposals and just anything associated with fishing, kayak fishing, not even associated with kayak fishing. I've had all kinds of sponsors. I average about 35 to 40 different company sponsors. So they'll donate gear. services, they'll donate stuff. No money, but they'll donate stuff. So
Right. You're getting, what do you think value-wise with everything? What do you think you're getting?
this year is probably close to around 10.
10,000?
Yeah, but I stopped getting. I knew it was going to be a short year,
Right.
and I wasn't going to have a raffle and stuff like that, so I cut it short. So I just stopped. And I stopped like a month early before I usually do, and I still got, I think, 39 or 40 gear sponsors.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, rods and reels. And
Stopped early, and this year I think you got, well, we had registered 80?
Yeah, and then a
82?
bunch of people that called in that canceled, but I just had a few that were just at the park and showed up and wanted to play. So
Nice.
it's probably going to be around 70, I think, this year.
That's still not bad. That's still pretty good. I think that's what we had. Usually,
Last year we had probably 78 or so.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what's nice is if you compete, everybody pretty much goes home with a prize.
Oh yeah, you're definitely
Yeah.
going to go. It's
Yeah.
$40 to get into this, and you're going to go home with something of value, that or $40
Just the
value
swag
or more.
bags alone is probably $15-20 and
Right.
a shirt. I mean, get shirts made.
T-shirt and all the little gear and tackle you get is pretty nice.
Yeah. So basically, out of that $40, I take out $10 for shirts. I get commemorative shirts made for the participants, and then $30 goes towards CASA. That's
Nice.
basically the breakup.
That's awesome.
I always try to get enough gear for everybody to have something. You know, I don't want it to be where after 20 places there's nothing, and
Right.
you got people, and so
And that's half the
try
thing.
to get
Everybody looks
some.
forward to it.
Yeah.
Everybody looks forward to being able to get some sort of a prize. They all know they're going to get some sort of a prize.
And a lot of these people, this is their first tournament ever,
Right.
and some people, this is the only tournament they come to every year.
Right. And they just
So,
do this
but
one.
after they've been here, they get stuff and they get to know everybody. It's like they're back. Like
There's a lot of friendships and stuff that are made from people that meet people here that, you know, later on end up fishing in places. I mean, I've met people here that I end up talking to throughout the later on in the year, or they end up coming to the Walleye Social. When you do this and we come in and you guys check all the photos, you allot so many points per inch per fish,
yeah,
and each fish has a different point value per inch.
Right.
The crappie is double the points.
yeah. So
And
we go
like,
for everything, but we figure we throw more points on the crappies just because I named it a crappie
Crappie
shootout.
shootout, right. So what's like catfish? What are those worth an inch?
It's like 6.5 points per inch. It kind of flops around. It kind of follows the Northwest Kayak Anglers.
Northwest Kayak Angler stuff.
Yeah,
That's what I
Angler of the
figured.
Year.
So when people do this, you guys add up all the points. How do you go about doing the awards?
The anglers will come in and submit, or they'll show one of our guys their longest fish from each species, just one longest fish on the board on a measuring device, and
Got to have an identifier.
Yeah, identifier and everything.
Which for this one is every year. It was a wristband one year, which I still have.
Yeah.
Piece of tape, typically though, some kind of weird different tape
different
from
kind
every year.
of duct tape. It sticks to everything, and I don't have to worry about it flying out of kayaks
Right.
and stuff.
So when guys are up there and say whoever gets first place, you call them up. That's the guy that wins the buckle.
Yeah, and he
And
gets
then
first choice of
all the
prize
prizes.
table. Yeah,
And
so
second place gets
just goes down from there.
right.
Yeah.
They get to choose second, and third gets to choose third. I think you have additional prizes though, right? For first, second, and third place. What is it? The buckle, the grabby thing this year. What is that?
Boobies.
I don't know.
yeah.
The crying
The
towels.
crying towel
So-
is second place.
So my sister and my brother-in-law was like, "Hey, let's come over here and let's take some pictures, some funny pictures." And I'm like, "All right." I didn't think nothing about it, and this was in the, summertime or what. I had no idea, and they're like, "Take some pictures." So I took some of the goofy pictures, and somehow they ended up on blankets and towels and aprons and crap. And they are that's what you get for I think second place. You get like a
Crying towel.
a
right?
crying towel because
Right.
you came so close, but
But you didn't
But you
win.
didn't. You're the first loser. So
Yeah.
you get a wow towel, a blanket, and then I think third place was a towel, and she made an apron this year,
Right.
creepy apron.
Creepy apron.
Oh.
Looks like
And there's some people actually out there that really want these things, which kind of creeps me out. My damn face is on it.
eBay.
big
eBay.
mink skinners. Yeah. So, and that's pretty fun. That's what everybody wants to get in there, and there's some great prizes. I mean, I think last year was the worst year for me. I got 20th. That's the first year I didn't place in the top 10. But what did you get last year?
Oh, I don't remember. Mine's gone down every year. I don't remember.
26th.
Yeah.
Place.
He's got nothing to prove.
Well, he's already won it once.
It's only up from here.
Yeah, we got like batteries, lithium batteries. You got rods. We got custom build rods.
Right.
Some of the bigger prizes. We got some fire can from Ignic. It's like I went and approached local ish companies, and they were kind of hesitant to do stuff in the beginning, so I just started sending out proposals to these big companies, I mean, stuff that you use,
right?
Like Petzl. One of the first ones, like Petzl headlamps. I was just like, I'm gonna send these guys out of the I didn't know what I was doing, so I'm just sending everybody stuff, and they kept coming back and be like, yeah, we'll send you something. And after a couple years, they send a little more, and they're like, you get to know these people, and they're just like, okay, so the hardest thing is to get a sponsor to come back the second year. So I really try to make sure I kind of get their name out there. I say, hey, the only thing I can offer you is a little bit of advertising on my, the Facebook page and forums and stuff. That's all I can offer them.
Right.
I'm just
There's not
a
much
dude.
else. Right.
So it's like, I can offer you this. I'm straight up with them. I try to follow up with them, let them know what's going on afterwards, how everything went.
And you do a pretty good job with other people's help of taking photos of, the prizes that people win and stuff. And, so it's, it's a good job. It's a good event, and, it's a chance for other sponsors to come forward too and help out if they can't do it a second year in a row or.
Yeah.
It's great. There's tons and tons of great prizes in there. Did the one with the vacuum seal or whatever that was?
That was just the 1 year.
Just the 1 year?
Yeah.
God, I think Raglan took that home, I think.
Yeah. The vacuum seal.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was
No,
it was 2 years.
Okay.
Because he did.
What
was his? Oh no, it was Avid Armor.
Oh, okay.
He got one, and then I got one the next year.
Yeah, those are flipping badass.
I wanted to get the knife sharpener.
I got the knife sharpener 1 year.
Yeah.
That is, that's been several years ago, and I love mine.
Yeah, I ended up buying one because I didn't win it.
Yeah, so that's the kind of things that the sponsors want to hear. Like if somebody at the tournament, they get something or they saw something that's cool, and they buy one. If you make a post about it, tag us, tag them.
Yeah.
Just so they know that this stuff is actually working.
Yeah.
Like last year, that Ignic, we had a fire can, and it's like an enclosed propane burner. Well, in the summertime here, there's burn bans everywhere, but if it's enclosed, you can use it. So, like later on, after the tournament last year, I went to Hobuck. Mikey had one.
Yeah,
I saw that thing. It was cool. I bought one. Okay, yeah, cool. I went. My sister and the brother-in-law pulls up. They got one with the growler on it. And they're like, oh yeah, that thing was cool. We saw it at the tournament. We were looking at it. So this stuff actually does work. I mean, people see the stuff, and then it's a trickle down.
Then they make an investment.
Yeah, they do see what's going on. They see it at the tournament. They see it online.
Yeah,
and people will go out and get this stuff, buy these products.
That's big time for the sponsors that are out there. I mean, I know how that is, especially when we're doing for the WKBF stuff. You got to beg our guys to, hey man, show a little love, or these guys aren't coming back. And we try to do the best we can, but sometimes it's up to the other guys to help share that. It can get worrisome because you want them to come back again, but if they don't feel like they didn't get their share, their trade for that, then they're not so apt to. But
and I mean, to have a sponsor come back is huge. I mean, if there's some gear you can rely on, I mean, it just makes it so much easier.
Right.
But I try to work hard to get them some kind of value out of it.
Let's talk about some of the side pots. I know there's the Max Lure one.
Yeah.
Is that the only? There's another one or
no? The team event. The Max Lure. Max always been a big sponsor. They're always really, really into what we're doing, and they're interested in kayak fishing and stuff.
They want in on the kayak side of things.
Yeah.
Me and Brad both are on the pro staff team. They really, really like people that are multi-species anglers.
Yeah.
Because so many of their stuff will just be a certain.
Yeah,
like,
their
this
gear
guy
can-
just fishes salmon. That guy just does kokanee.
Yeah.
You know?
And while they don't have this area's got a lot of bass and stuff. I mean, their stuff does work well for crappie. The trout being the hardest to catch,
Right.
their wedding ring or wiggle hoochie is a great option for targeting trout, and you can always catch something else with that too, because crappie will hit that as
Oh,
well.
heck yeah, they'll eat the heck out of it.
Largest crappie last year, Mark used a Max Flasher.
Oh, nice.
That's what he caught the big crappie on.
No kidding.
15.5 inches.
One of the sling blades.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was trolling
That's
with
awesome.
it for trout, and a crappie hit it. It was a 15.5-inch crappie. I mean, it won
That's
the
a big crappie
category. Yeah.
Wow. That's a big one. That's
So
nice.
yeah, I think they're. What are they giving away?
Light box this year for light box and some extra gear for the category. So in addition to the placement prize, I usually have enough gear I can throw it towards something else. So we try to figure out cool, fun things to do for giveaways. So we have a category for each species. Highest points fish per species gets a special
Little something.
bundle of gear.
Yeah.
Basically, but this year somebody made a light box for the
Right.
biggest crappie and has
That's pretty cool.
Brownlee Crappie Shootout.
Oh, that's
crappie
right. It's
on it.
Tom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom
Yeah,
did
he made
that.
a
That's cool.
he 3D printed that thing.
Perfect for your man cave if you have one.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. You
and it's
can
that, that's the other.
Or she should.
put it right next to the leg lamp that you see on
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about this thing too. Everybody, it's a fun event where people will actually do stuff. Like Tom was like, it'd be fun to do this event. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Like Jesse, he's like, you know what? This is so fun. We'll do the tables. People will make stuff. I had a guy making fish thumpers for it.
Right. Right.
Oh, it's just like people are like donating stuff of their own making.
Right.
I remember I found a carved wooden crappie in upstate New York as like a Christmas
Yeah, that's the one.
lure.
He's got it.
I have it. I won
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I think I donated it for
Oh,
the
no, it was
largest
somebody
crappie
else.
or something.
That was the necklace, wasn't it?
Necklace, yeah. You had to wear.
Oh,
You had to wear
I
it.
have
That's
the
one
actual
Roy-
brown wooden crappie.
Okay.
Roy that used to run the Sunset Bay tournament.
Oh,
he made
He's
that.
since moved away, but before he moved, he sent me that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
the one that I have.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have that.
He's a woodworker.
Anything you win here is just, I don't know. This is just it's a really, I don't know how to.
It's
explain
fun, but
just
it's a
lot
hard
of fun
tournament.
here. It is
Yeah.
very hard.
It's
It's a hard tournament to win. You can't.
Uh-huh.
You have to know. You have to catch everything.
And I mean, there's a little bit of luck involved in some of this, because you'd be trolling around doing nothing. You'd be like, man, I can't catch a perch. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, you'll catch a perch in 50 foot of water. They're 10 foot under the surface,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just luck into one. But most of it is, if you can go, like Evan, for instance, who's won it twice now, almost 3 times.
Yeah, he's always up there.
He was only 1 point behind the one year he got second. He won a year, got second the next time, and then last year he won it again. And unfortunately, he's not here this year. He always is systematically just has a thing that he goes through and does. And
Yeah, he has his special spots that he likes to go to.
He's got a system. He's got this thing pegged, and he's an outstanding angler, number one. But I have no doubt that if he comes back, when he don't show up, people are like, "Oh yes,
Advantage. And he drives like 10 hours, I think, to get here.
he
or
does."
something.
It's a 10-hour drive to get here.
I mean,
Yeah.
Seattle's far enough at 6, but there's 6.5.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. People from this tournament, they come from a
All over.
long ways away.
I wouldn't miss this tournament for
Yeah.
anything. There's no way. No way. It's just too much fun. The area is beautiful. It's way too relaxing. The park here, they do backflips for us because they want us to be here.
Yeah, this whole area, it's wide open out here, but 20 miles, 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it's all
Dude, we're
trees.
out in the forest.
The boonies,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Just halfway
Full
along.
on forest.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's that close, but yeah, you're not
It's right
having to
there.
go very far at all. And it's beautiful country. You get the Eagle Caps over on one side, Hell's Canyon's just
Yeah,
right
20,
here.
30 minutes and you're in Hell's Canyon.
Yep. So if you've ever thought about looking into maybe coming in fishing this event, get off the bench because you're going to miss out. Once Jed's daughter graduates, he's out of here. So
They're going to Vegas.
yeah, we're all
Blowing the family
yeah,
savings.
we're all dreading
Close
that.
to
But Jed's going to move back to Hawaii.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I had a lot of fun there. Anyways, thanks guys for coming tonight and
Yeah,
talking.
thank you.
I'm going to hopefully be able to maybe chat with the winner of the event tomorrow. We'll see if we add it on to the end of this. If you heard it, then we did, and if you don't, then we didn't.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Thanks again for listening to another edition of the Bait and Banner podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one. Tight lines.